Many people know about the railway line that ran through Newquay during the second half of the 19th century and down to Newquay Harbour, but many do not. Questions are continually asked about the stone jetty in the middle of the harbour. Cornish industrialist J.T. Treffry bought Newquay Harbour as part of the Manor of Town Blystra in 1838 and completed the work started by Richard Lomax. In order to utilise the harbour for export of his mined minerals, he built a tramway from South Cornwall to Newquay and then down to the harbour. As built, this was primarily a mineral tramway and would be traversed by horse-drawn wagons. Two major obstacles at the Newquay end of the tramway were for the rail lines to pass over the Trans Valley and then down a steep incline to the harbour. The original 1838 Act of Parliament obtained by J.T. Treffry relating to the harbour at Newquay was amended in 1844 with a second act that included the addition of tramroads. This included plans to run the tramway from Newquay Harbour through the town, then via the parishes of St Culla Minor and St Culla Major to St Dennis in the parish of St Stephen's, the heart of China clay country. Trefry was given authority to buy whatever land was required. Benefits of the Act also allowed Trefry and his heirs the authority to buy and build whatever was required. The inclined tunnel to the harbour was started in early 1844, the work carried out by Cornish miners, well suited for this work. The gradient was 1 foot in 4.5 feet and the tunnel was 80 yards long. Built to allow passage of wagons on a standard gauge railway, these wagons would be raised and lowered via a whim from above. The whim was originally horse-powered using ropes. This would soon be replaced by a steam engine and steel cables. Railway lines would carry the horse-drawn wagons along the quay to allow loading and unloading of vessels moored there. The initial phase was completed in January 1849 with the completion of the first Trans Viaduct and the opening taking place by J.T. Treffry, the first man across it. Full operation of the whole tramway in operation would not take place until 1857 when there was a grand opening held at what is now the Red Lion Inn in Newquay. Sadly, J.T. Treffry would not see this as he died in January 1850 aged 68 with many of his plans and ideas incomplete. By the early 1850s, trade had increased substantially with over 300 movements of vessels through Newquay Harbour. In order to increase the number of vessels able to use the harbour, a central jetty was constructed in 1872. This consisted of a central stone structure reached via a wooden trestle with railway lines on either side of the trestle and stone pier. This allowed vessels to berth on either side, increasing the harbour's capacity threefold. Newquay's days as a maritime coastal trading port weren't to last. Closure of the East Wheel Rose iron ore mine in 1885, followed by a substantial damage to the North Quay in 1889, including the short-sightedness of ship owners relating to harbour reconstruction, led to a fall in harbour trade. Increased use of larger steamships unable to access the harbour and changes in shipping products saw a large decrease in shipping. World War I saw a further decline in harbour use by vessels, and the last imports and exports were made during the period 1921 to 1922. The days of Newquay Harbour as a coastal maritime port were over. The owners, the Great Western Railway, turned the harbour area over to the local authority in 1926 and the railway lines were raised in 1928. The central jetty with its wooden trestle remained in place until gradual deterioration of the decking saw the whole timber structure removed from late 1949. The substantial central pier remains a reminder to Newquay's coastal maritime trading past. The tunnel would be used as an aquarium, store for Newquay Rowing Club gigs, and during the 2020s an outlet for water sports. The journey for Newquay's harbour from a small pier and a wholly fishing-based industry in the early 1800s to a far more substantial harbour and once again reverting to fishing, albeit with additional water-based in businesses, has taken 200 years. The story that can be told of all that has happened during that period will be shared in due course.